And so the kingdom was confirmed in the hand of Solomon, and he was joined with Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, by affinity. For he took his daughter, and he led her into the city of David, until he completed building his own house, and the house of the Lord, and the wall of Jerusalem all around. But still the people immolated in the high places. For no temple had been built to the name of the Lord, even to that day. Now Solomon loved the Lord, walking in the precepts of David, his father, except that he immolated in the high places, and he burned incense. And so, he went away to Gibeon, so that he might immolate there, for that was the greatest high place. Solomon offered upon that altar, at Gibeon, 1,000 victims as holocausts. Then the Lord appeared to Solomon, through a dream in the night, saying, "Request whatever you wish, so that I may give it to you." And Solomon said, "You have shown great mercy to your servant David my father, because he walked in your sight in truth and justice, and with an upright heart before you. And you have kept your great mercy for him, and you have given him a son sitting upon his throne, just as it is this day. And now, O Lord God, you have caused your servant to reign in place of David my father. But I am a small child, and I am ignorant of my entrance and departure. And your servant is in the midst of the people that you have chosen, an immense people, who are not able to be numbered or counted because of their multitude. Therefore, give to your servant a teachable heart, so that he may be able to judge your people, and to discern between good and evil. For who will be able to judge this people, your people, who are so many?" And the word was pleasing before the Lord, that Solomon had requested this kind of thing. And the Lord said to Solomon, "Since you have requested this word, and you have not asked for many days or for wealth for yourself, nor for the lives of your enemies, but instead you have requested for yourself wisdom in order to discern judgment. Behold, I have done for you according to your words, and I have given you a wise and understanding heart, so much so that there has been no one like you before you, nor any one who will rise up after you. But also the things for which you did not ask, I have given to you, namely wealth and glory, so that no one has been like you among the kings in the all days before. And if you will walk in my ways, and keep my precepts and my commandments, just as your father walked, I will lengthen your days." Then Solomon awakened, and he understood that it was a dream. And when he had arrived in Jerusalem, he stood before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and he offered holocausts and made victims of peace offerings, and he held a great feast for all his servants. Then 2 women harlots went to the king, and they stood before him. And one of them said, "I beg you, my lord, I and this woman were living in one house, and I gave birth, with her in the room. Then, on the 3rd day after I gave birth, she also gave birth. And we were together, with no other person with us in the house, only the 2 of us. Then this woman's son died in the night. For while sleeping, she smothered him. And rising up in the silent depths of the night, she took my son from my side, while I, your handmaid, was sleeping, and she set him in her bosom. Then she placed her dead son in my bosom. And when I had arisen in the morning, so that I might give milk to my son, he appeared to be dead. But gazing upon him more diligently in the light of day, I realized that he was not mine, whom I had borne." And the other woman responded, "It is not such as you say. Instead, your son is dead, but mine is alive." "To the contrary," she said, "you are lying. For my son lives, and your son is dead." And in this manner, they were contending before the king. Then said the king, "This one says, 'My son is alive, and your son is dead.' And the other responds, 'No, instead your son is dead, but mine lives.' Therefore the king said, 'Bring a sword to me.' And when they had brought a sword before the king, he said, 'Divide the living infant in 2 parts, and give a half part to the one and a half part to the other.' But the woman, whose son was alive, said to the king, for her heart was moved concerning her son, 'I beg you, my lord, give the living infant to her, and do not kill him.' To the contrary, the other said, 'Let it be neither for me, nor for you, instead divide it.' The king responded and said, 'Give the living infant to this woman, and do not kill it, for she is his mother.' Then all of Israel heard about the judgment that the king had judged, and they feared the king, seeing that the wisdom of God was in him to accomplish judgment.